Well, welcome back to Hertfordshire Zoo. I know it's been a very long time and I do apologise. I'll give you a very quick explanation. Towards the end of the year, the beginning of this year, I kind of just burnt myself out with planetzoo, which is a shame because I was really enjoying it up until a point where I just ran out of ideas. And it's a shame because I thought I was alright at it. I was only 200 hours in or so, and as you've just seen, Grizzly Grove, probably one of my favourite builds. Even this reptile and amphibian house was up there with some of my favourite stuff that I've done, and I was really enjoying it. However, I think I'd done a bit too much too fast and kind of fell out of love, burnt out. I don't know how to explain it, but essentially I just didn't want to play it anymore because I wanted to go with quality over quantity, and I felt like I was just trying to get some stuff out so that I had an episode. There was also some things going on in the background. My car got stolen. It was found a couple of months later, but my car got stolen. My number plates got cloned. So if you're not from the UK, that means that someone has got a copy of my number plates and they were committing crime with it. So therefore I was a suspect for a while. It's all sorted now, obviously, but that was something. And there was a few other bits going on as well. Work life. It was just very stressful. Then a few months back, well, a couple of months ago, my PC actually caught fire, literally caught on fire. So I had to get a new one. And here we are now with my new PC. I turned this on to do like the smaller options. I was going to make separate zoos for separate areas, like the North American zone, for example. And I found that my game was still here and it runs on this computer. It's still a little laggy every now and then because of the amount of pieces and animals that I have, so do bear that in mind. However, I'm back, and today we are going to be building the moose, or as I like to refer to them as moosk. I don't know why, it's just something I do. Anyway, without further ado, I will leave you to the voiceover and the speed build, and I'll see you again next time where we will be building the dull sheep, I think it is. So I'll see you again next time. Like and subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Well, that was interesting. No, it wasn't. Right, so this is the first time I've done a voiceover in a long time, so forgive me if I'm absolutely terrible at it. I probably will be, but we move. Anyway, I started by putting in the path, as you do, because it's easier to build around a path than it is to path around a build. And what I done is I got some 4-meter logs, and I took the brackets from the rhino enclosure and placed 3 down, and then put some pipe in between those with another log to make it look more like it's, I don't know, like a fence, more like a barrier. This took a long time. This took a very long time to go round. I forgot how particular it can be at times. And there is a really long break here in what I do because I was doing something out of the room. So I should have cut that out, but I haven't. Terrible start to my comeback. Then I had to manoeuvre things around so that it kind of worked, but luckily I gave a lot of space to the moosks so that they are able to freely run around as much as they want. Then I decided to stick with the log theme, which I've tried to do throughout the North American zone anyway, and I made like a mesh with log thing so that people don't put their naughty little hands through and try and touch the moose, because I have never seen a moose in real life. I know that sounds a bit pathetic, but I don't think I've seen one. But I know they're quite dangerous. So I've tried to set this so that it's a bit further back than the area that you can walk on or close to, and any bit that's close to where the zoo goers would go, I have put some rocks. I then decided that I wanted them to have like a little island in the middle, so I carved out the island piece, put some water in, and made sure that I was happy with the layout of it, and then I placed rocks around it to make it look a lot more natural compared to man-made, which is quite difficult in Planet Zoo, especially with rocks and water. When you get water involved, the water physics aren't great. I'm hoping that Planet Coaster 2 has better water features, which I'm really looking forward to. I then made the hard shelter / entrance for the zookeepers. I put in the one-way glass and really struggled with the roof on this one because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And of course, all of these particular pieces need to be built on a grid. Eventually, I decided that I was going to do an asphalt roof, and I was going to make that a 2-meter incline. I think that's the right word. Slope. I've put these slopes in, and I've put some asphalt on top and then some flat on top of there, and then just filled in the gap with a 2-meter log wall. So it looks okay, it's nothing great, it's for moose, so I don't need it to look fantastic because I wanted to try to make the actual habitat or the enclosure itself what I needed it to be. I wanted it to be decent for my comeback. So I've added in these pines sporadically across the area and in places that I kind of don't want them to be, but not taking away from the main focal point, which is the island in the middle. I then went round the entirety of the lake or pond with some long grass, I think it's buffalo grass, and randomly placed some flowers to make sure that it wasn't so kind of basic and robot-like. And then I added some water features, including some flowers. Lots of flowers, in fact, and lots of trees. I wasn't overly sold on the look of this entire enclosure, to be honest with you. I think it looked a little flat. So you'll see at some point, I'm not too sure when it kicks in, but what I done was complete the recording and then go back the next day and add some more. I then added these mesh boxes to make it look like the trees were protected so that the moose couldn't get to the trees. I then decorated the outside because again I don't want it to be flat and boring around the outside. I placed a load of these fake rocks around. I've added more rocks since then. I think I actually stopped the recording because I didn't want to record me just adding a load of rocks in around the outsides, as well as the lettering and things like that. I've cut a lot of it out. So this is me recording the next day and adding in some rocks from the inside, as well as some, so they're the lighter rocks. I've added some darker rocks to try and give it some shadow, a bit of depth, and I thought this looked quite nice actually out on the side. I do turn this into a kind of merchandise shop area, as well as a toilet area for guests of the park, and I actually think it looks quite good. It's not great. I probably could have put some fencing around the outside of it or something to make it kind of more enclosed, but you know, we move. So I made it into like a little rock formation and tried to include the toilets into the rock as if it was made out of rock rather than a random toilet with some fake rocks. I'm not overly good at that yet. I've seen some people do a lot better job where they integrate it into the build a lot better than I have, but I don't think it looks too bad, and I didn't want a rock kind of sitting in the toilet and getting rid of some of the features of the toilet. So from the side, the back, it looks okay. From the front, it leaves a little to be desired. But you know, I'm only 200 hours in. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So it doesn't look too bad, I guess. But we do eventually come away from that and stick in some merchandise, as well as some signs and food and drink stores, because everyone needs food and drink. I probably should go back on and add in an ATM around the sides of this particular area, because people always run out of money because everything costs so much. I think I should probably adjust my prices as well, because I have got quite a bit of money now. Even though it's currently going down, that's because I've limited the amount of people that I can have there to try and help the game run a bit better. But yeah, so I continued with the rock formations across the whole of this area to try and make it uniform, and so that it's not just flat with some fences or something like that. And fencing takes a while compared to rocks, honestly, and I'm not here for it. As I said, I thought this looked quite flat, so I ended up adding this waterfall, 2 waterfalls in fact, and it's supposed to look like there is a waterfall going into the lake. I think it turned out okay. You'll see it obviously at the end of this speed build, and I actually genuinely think it turned out okay. Obviously the water just randomly comes out of these rocks, but I'd like to think in real life that there's like a pump system underneath, and it's just going back up and constantly going in and out of the water, so it gets cleaned. That's what I'm going with. So it gets cleaned, it comes out here clean, and obviously the moose just make everything really dirty, hence the dirty water. So yeah, I added this and made it rocky so that it looked a lot more natural than just 2 random waterfall pieces. And what did I do after that? I got rid of some of the bushes so that they had more room to walk in, because I realised that I'd taken up quite a bit of their walking area with the waterfall, even though they still had plenty of room to walk around in. I think I actually had almost double what they needed in the end. I think it was like 1,700 square foot, and they only needed like 1,100 square foot. Obviously you have to add in the water regulator, but I couldn't fit the door in because for whatever reason the doorway unit doesn't fit a doorway very well, which is bizarre. But I know guests also don't like that kind of thing, so I had to edit it so that it looked a bit nicer, looked a bit more like what you might see in a zoo. And I'll put a no entrance sign there as well so that people don't walk towards it. What did I do now? Yes, education boards. I haven't really spoken about education boards. Obviously, because my computer decided it was going to blow up, I've lost a lot of the graphics that I had, so everything has gone in terms of the custom ones right now. So I will make some more at some point. I don't know if I'm going to do the entirety of the zoo, because that will take a long time to do, because they took ages to make, and you can see that they're all off at the moment because there's nothing actually there. There's no like image. So I will make some more at some point, but for right now we're going to go with the default ones. I might make some new ones, but yeah. And this is the build. For my first one back, I actually think it came out looking quite well. This is Moose Madness. I should have done the eyes a bit wonky, but yeah, this is Moose Madness. I'm really happy with it. The way it's turned out, I think it looks somewhat natural, and it's probably better than some of the ones I was coming out with at the end of my time. And yeah, that's my build. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks again for stopping by, and it is good to be back. So thanks again. Like and subscribe. I will see you again next time.